Hi, welcome back to my channel where today I'll be making an anti-haul and a get ready with me mashed together. So today I want to do an anti-haul, but I don't really have time to do my makeup and an anti-haul, so I'm going to do them at the same time. And my makeup today was actually designed by my younger sister. She drew me some face charts and they're very, very cute. So I'm going to do a silent movie inspired makeup look today. And we're going to do lots of oranges and yellows and some sad eyebrows. The first thing I want to talk about is Colourpop Cosmetics and their limited edition fall winter season palette. My main problem with Colourpop is they release too many palettes constantly. It's just endless, absolutely endless. The first two are so similar that I feel like you could have just taken the best colours out of both of them and made one £9 palette. And then the third one is more of a winter palette than a fall palette, I guess. But it's also not that great. It looks very grey. I don't know what skin tone greys look very good on unless you're doing a black and white look. I also really don't like the packaging. The flowers, that is not my favourite thing, and I'm a big fan of like ugly flower curtains and those sorts of things, like old-fashioned flower wallpaper. I love it, and I think that's what they're going for, but it doesn't really work. Yeah, I kind of just feel like these were unneeded and I will not be buying them. So next I'm going to be talking about these e.l.f. Cosmetics putty blushes. I'm just really put off by putty things. I think they're really grim. Obviously if you like putty, you'll probably like these more. I'm also not a massive fan of the colours. Some of them look very, very similar. Like the oranges all look quite similar, and then like the pinky browns are a bit more different. I feel like if you ordered them differently, the first one is identical to the third one, and then the second one along on both the lines is kind of very similar as well. I don't even know how you use putty blushes. Yeah, I will be skipping out on those as well. Also the packaging is really, really dull. I think they're on the cheaper end, but I don't feel like cheap packaging has to be boring. I feel like you could do a lot more with it. They might be going for like a clean look, but I think there's a way of doing clean looks that actually looks better than this. I'm gonna move on to my powder. My powder is completely broken. I don't want to tip it because it's like the whole thing moves around, which is not very fun. Oh, I just broke it more. Need to go get myself a new one. And now I'm gonna move on to my eyebrows. I'm gonna use the red in the James Charles palette. And while I do that, I'm gonna talk about the Revolution Dripping Gold collection. I don't really mind this collection. I think it's fine, but the pictures are really gross to me. I don't know why, they really put me off. Nothing inherently wrong with them, it's just I don't like the dripping look. It looks like you've broken your makeup products. Like, it looks like this. It just looks like you've done it by mistake, and I hate this. I always clean it, but it always happens. The lid looks grim as well. So to me, it just looks like used makeup in a commercial, and I don't understand why they've done that. The palette isn't really for me. It's like those goldy, neutral, browny tones, which just isn't something I would use. But it is very pretty. I like the shape of the pans, like they're actually like gold bar shaped. And I don't think I've seen Revolution do something like that before. Where do you put an arc in a side eyebrow? I'm just gonna put it in the same place, I guess. Apparently I can't talk while doing my eyebrows, so I'm just gonna finish my eyebrows and then come back. Okay, now that I've got one eyebrow on, I feel like I can continue with the anti-haul. Next is this Unicorn Cosmetics palette. What's it called? The Wicked palette. Okay. I'm just not a big fan of the colours. They're very swampy. I really like the purple shade on the bottom row, one in from the left. Kind of wish they did individual pans because I would buy that colour. But I wouldn't buy a whole palette just to get one colour out of it. And then I don't really understand like the duo block. Colours don't seem to really fully go together for me. Especially the Host and the Creep one, the orange and the dark blue. And I like orange and blue together. Like the blue is too cool toned and then the orange is too like ashy. Occult and 666 are actually really nice colours. 666 I probably wear. It's really, really shiny. How are people so good at drawing eyebrows that I can't do them at all? Because have sold your soul to Satan. Okay, I have eyebrows now. Before I go on to my next thing, I'll just quickly talk about the cover of this. I really, really like it. I recognise the writing from somewhere. Like, I feel like a brand has used it. Maybe not even a brand, maybe I just recognise the font. But I think it looks really cool. It looks very Halloween-y, and that's obviously what they are going for. I like the skull with like the drip on it. I like things with lightning bolts. So if the palette was better and it was more my style, I think I would get this, honestly. My eyeshadow, I'm going to use a mixture of these two and kind of just blend them together, and I'm just going to keep it nice and round. Okay, the Fenty Beauty Holiday 2020 collection. My least favourite thing about this is the eyeshadow. It's 6 colours, which is fine, but then it doesn't really have a theme. I feel like the dark purple and then the really light colour kind of looks like a purpley shift, but it might just be because the purple above it, because obviously colours next to each other change your perception of colour. But those two and the dark brown I feel go really well together, and then the other three go really well together. So I feel like she should have done quads and then had another purpley shade and then another more reddy neutral brownie shade, and then do kind of a wintry quad and a Christmassy quad. But I really like the shimmers, they are all really pretty. I wouldn't use the neutrals, but I know most people like blending out a shimmer with a neutral. Yeah, I like this palette, I just wish it had been done a little bit differently, just to make it a little bit more user-friendly, I guess. Also, Fenty's really expensive, so I wouldn't buy it because I feel like it's not really worth it for only using 3 out of 6 colours. Next is this Kylie Cosmetics collection. It looks so tacky. So tacky. I don't really like animal print in general, and I thought animal print craze had kind of gone. I haven't really seen much animal print around recently. I used to, when I thought of Kylie Cosmetics, think of it being like ahead of the game. Now I feel like it's behind a year and it's just not very interesting. The palette itself, the colours are strange. It's just strange. The organisation is odd as well. I don't understand the blue. The blue is really throwing me off. Is there anything else to say about Kylie other than it's dull? Yeah, it's just not good. Next up are these. I didn't get the brand in my screenshot. That wasn't very clever. I'll put the brand on the screen. The pan is so pretty. The lid is amazing. It is so cool. I don't know whether it's meant to be a butterfly or a scarab, but whatever like the little creature is in the middle is really cool. I love all the stars. It's so pretty. The proper bronzer, I was actually really tempted by it, and I don't wear bronzer, so that's a good show of how pretty the packaging is. With that being said, I don't understand when you have like the balls and you meant to like scrub them all together to use it. That seems so impractical. They would go everywhere if I was going to use that. Like, I'm getting annoyed at this. My broken press powder. I can't even imagine how annoyed I'll be getting at a pan that you buy it and it's basically broken or acts like it's broken. I remember they were a big craze like not that long ago, and I thought they were stupid then and I think they're stupid now. But I feel like I'm gonna have to look more into this brand just because of the packaging. I'm just gonna put a little bit of yellow on my inner corner. These Mitchell, I don't know how to say that. These palettes are hideous. I'm sorry, but they are just hideous. Why are they camouflage print? They look awful, and then you can't see the colours properly because the background's so busy. I can't even tell what the second one's going to be. Is it clouds? Okay, the second one is clouds. The second one, the front is much better, but I feel like it looks even worse on the inside because the colours don't necessarily go. Also, the colours are very similar. I feel like it gets hidden because of the background. Maybe actually compare the two palettes. I feel like a lot of the colours are similar. The mirror I don't like either. What's the name of that font? That font will always remind me of Death Note, because Elle has it in that font. I can't remember the name of the font, but it doesn't really work as a mirror because you can't really read it. It's a strange font to read. I'm not a big fan of that font, really. Moving on to the Lancome holiday collection. I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong. I've always pronounced it Lancome and now I'm reading it like as a word and I feel like it's incorrect. So the lipsticks I like. I think they're very cute and pretty. I wouldn't use them, but I know a lot of people who would really like them. I like the little flowers on them, it's really cool. My biggest problem is the palette. I don't understand palettes with brushes in them, because when you buy a palette with a brush, I feel like you're going to lose the brush. I wouldn't keep the brush in the palette, and there's like an empty space where the brush is meant to go. The colour story is really dull, which is strange because the packaging is actually pretty cool. Very tacky, and I like tacky things. Tacky things are some of my favourite things. With like the diamond like encrusted look, and then the inside doesn't match. I feel like from the outside it should be pastely purple and green. That's like the most reflection I can see. Maybe a bit of gold, and then the inside is browns, a strange blue, and then some rosy colours. I feel like it's just very old-fashioned. I feel like I've seen it before. Okay, so these Pat McGrath lip fetish balms. I can't see a difference in the colour between the clear and the rose. I'm looking at the lips and I can't see a difference. And they are the same people, if I'm not mistaken, on both of the sides. Yes, they definitely are. The noses are all identical. So I don't see a difference. I'm just a bit confused because the clear, it has to be put over something because no one's lips are really that colour. So I feel like the clear is just advertised incorrectly maybe, but 25 quid. If you bought both, that's 50 quid, and they advertise them as looking the same. It kind of feels like a rip-off. I don't know, if you get these, please let me know. I want to know if they look different. I'm gonna put some blush on now. I'm gonna use the red, same for my eyebrows as my blush. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna talk about this Native palette, which I have again not put the name of the company in my screenshot. So I'm gonna have to look it up later. This is meant to be based off the flora and fauna of, I believe, New Zealand. I should have put the whole description in my screenshot, but... And my biggest problem is not the palette. I like the palette, I like the bronze chrome behind the palette as well. I like palettes with chrome, although I would destroy it and it wouldn't look pretty. But the cover, it took me a while to see the creatures. I feel like it's just not very readable. And when it's a palette that's not just meant to be based off nature, it's also meant to be based off the creatures, I feel like you should be able to see both just as clearly as each other. I also feel like the front doesn't go with the inside. Like the inside, the colours are actually really pretty, but then the front bores me, and if I saw it in a shot, I wouldn't even go and see what the colours were. I'm just not overly sure on this palette. I think it's fine, but just not to my taste in the advertising department. I'm now going to move on to perfume. I'm actually a much bigger fan of perfume than I am of makeup. I'm only going to talk about perfumes that I've also actually smelled the scent of. So I like all the scents, and I'm just going to talk about the bottle. So we're going to start with the Estee Lauder Beautiful Bella. I don't know if it's ever, is it Beautiful Belle or Beautiful Bella? I'm confused by the waviness at the bottom of this. I feel like what they were going for is a rose kind of motif. So it's meant to look like petals. It looks like someone squished the side of the glass while they were making it by mistake, and they're like, oh, we'll just leave it as part of the design. I do like the lid. I feel like most people go for the square lids or the round lids, but they're not clear. So I like the little love in the background. It might be called Love Beautiful Bella. But I like elements in the bottle. I just don't understand the squished nature of the bottom corner. Yeah, it just doesn't look thought through is my main qualm with this one. For my next one, I'm just gonna go with my eyelashes with Lover's Coral, and I'm gonna do my bottom lashes with them. And then I'm gonna prepare my lightly lashes in style Mercutio for the top. The next one I'm gonna talk about is the Yves Saint Laurent perfume. This bottle is so ugly to me. With most of these I'm gonna look at, I like some aspects of them. This I don't like any. I feel like the lid looks tacky, and then I don't like the gold Saint Laurent symbols. I'm just not a fan. I feel like it's also not interesting. I feel like it just looks cheap, and it shouldn't look cheap because it's actually really expensive. Like, Saint Laurent is a designer brand, so it should look like a designer brand. The lid is especially bothering me. I don't know why it's black. I feel like the lid would look nice maybe if the black part was just clear glass like the bottle. Next I'm going to talk about Floral Street Black Lotus. I always hate their packaging. Obviously it's a close-up of a flower, but it just looks really, really bad. It's so tacky. It doesn't look well done, it doesn't look expensive, and it's a shame because most of their perfumes actually do smell nice. They kind of just ruin themselves with the marketing, and they've always done them like this, well, at least from what I've seen. They're just not desirable. I feel like perfume has to look desirable, and this is just the opposite of that to me. Next we're going to talk about Valentino while I just quickly do my waterline. This bottle, the bottle itself is fine, the lid is odd. It's not the worst thing I've seen, not even the worst thing I've seen from Valentino, but I feel like it kind of tricks you into thinking you get more perfume than you do. Where it pinches in at the side, you don't get that perfume, but there is bottle. Unlike this one, which is the Gaultier one, it shows you exactly how much you get. There's no like fake thing here. They also have a problem with it kind of looks like you get more than you do, just because of the shape of the bottles. But honestly, it's actually the lid that gives me more of a problem. I don't understand these little spikes. I feel like they should have been taken out. And then the bottom of the lid is pink. I guess it's to go with the name, but it kind of looks like a different colour, at least on this photo. Like the Valentino looks red and the bottom of that looks very pink. I feel like it's just not cohesive, and I feel like the bottles to the lid should look cohesive. Everything should go together. Next I'm going to talk about the Bond No. 9 My New York perfume. I feel like it's too much and too little all at once. I feel like if you're going to do flags, they should be 3D and not just printed on it, because it just looks cheap. The shape, in a way I like it, because it kind of looks like a person doing this, but then I feel like it should be exaggerated more. The lid doesn't go at all. I feel like it should just be a dark blue stopper on the top. I feel like they thought they were doing a lot, but really they were doing nothing at all. There's nothing new, there's nothing interesting. And that was my final one. Ooh, I thought I had more. But that's probably a good thing, because I'm just going to put on some lipstick, and then my makeup is also done. And that's my makeup done. Thank you so much for joining me today. This was actually really fun. I like doing both at the same time. So maybe I'll do it again in the future, if you like how this is set up, I guess. Before you go, please let me know your opinions on each of these things down in the comments. Do you want them? Do you not like them? Do you not like them but disagree with me as to the reasons why you don't like them? And yeah, like this video if you enjoyed it, and then subscribe as I try and post a new video every single week. Don't hold me to that. Bye bye!